Do you guys have, I mean, can you sense a little extra pep in the step? I mean, coaches, players, just knowing that in about 3 weeks you're going to play for a national championship?
Oh, well, everybody's excited now. I mean, no question about it. The coaches are extremely excited. Players, again, the energy was very high out there today. I think they were eager to kind of get started and get back into it. Now we've got to move away from that. We've got to move away from the excitement and the idea of what lies ahead, and we've got to do a better job focusing on the things that matter at practice and the details of everything, starting in the film room with our walkthroughs and things of that nature, and then taking it out to the practice field. Because really, at the end of the day, I mean, all that stuff, the excitement and, all that, we're going to have to start over again when we get out there and block all this stuff out and really, zoom in on the things that matter. So, but we'll get that done.
Thanks. Trip to New York, what was your favorite part of it?
Just hanging out with those guys, man. Michael James, Andrew Luck, and Kellen Moore. Those guys are, I only had a chance to look at those guys, during the highlights of the season. But just to sit down and hang out with those guys, and it's special for me.
You nervous reading the top 10 list?
Was I nervous? Somewhat, but that was probably one of the few times I've been nervous this year. Due to the fact that, I was on David Letterman, and, it's just a lucky few that gets a chance to do that. And, it's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that people really don't know. And I didn't know as many people, watching, in the crowd. I thought it was just a handful of people, but they had it was a big deal.
Did any of that ever get overwhelming, just being up in New York and having all those responsibilities and all that stuff?
Honestly, during my whole time in New York, I never got a chance to just sit back and just feel what I have accomplished, But, I was somewhere every single second, and if I wasn't doing nothing, I was probably asleep. But, a trophy of that magnitude really won't hit a person until, years down the road, so you can embrace it. And
Seeing Oregon's offense, is it a lot different than other offenses you play?
They do some stuff we already seen before, especially in the way they run things. The only thing that's different from many other teams, the pace. That's about the only thing that's fairly different than that's not fairly. It's extremely different than the other team. Within 10 to 14, 18 seconds they're snapping the ball. And that's pretty fast considering our offense. I think it's every 22 seconds, something like that. So that's a very fast pace. At the same time, there's not something we haven't seen before, but the pace is going to be something we haven't seen before. When we see with our offense, but something a little bit faster, it's going to be a different pace. But we'll try to get that as close as possible we can while we're practicing.
You stopped and thought about the NFL yet? Or?
No, I haven't. It's in the back of my mind, but I haven't brought it to my attention for real. I'm just, like I said, I tell everybody I'm trying to get this ring for Auburn.
Just talk about, you guys have talked about depth and how important it is all year, but in this game with that speed, I mean, it's obviously going to be more important that Jeffrey and those guys behind you can give you some snaps.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was talking to the guys today at practice. I was telling them during bowl week last year, Coach Rocky didn't take no jumps. He was on us hard. And I was just telling him, man, just come out here to practice, ready to go, come hard. And y'all gonna be a big part of the game, whether they know it or not.
watching that.
Getting back to practice and after a couple weeks off.
Well, it's we had a lot of rust on us. We tried to get as much of it off as we could, and really it's like a muscle memory thing. I was talking to Kendall about it. So you take 2 weeks off, you got to get back in the swing of things a little bit. So that's what we accomplished today.
How important was it, though, for you guys, as much football as you play without much rest, just to have some time to heal like that?
It was amazing. I had I had a recliner and a big screen TV in front of me for about 2 weeks. I enjoyed it. A lot. But I started to get a little bored, and it's time to get back to work and do what I love. So.